Hey! It's Cold Brew Got Me Like the TV show.
Cold Brew Got Me Like.
Got a live grenade over here. Got a live cold brew grenade right here. What if we got What if we got taken off, banned from Twitch because they thought I was talking about live grenades that were real? I'm talking about a Stumptown nitro in a can, and I'm not going to do this for. I'm just going to put out a little threat to Stumptown. You don't sponsor this show, like in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. I'm going to start drinking something else. But this is, I'll tell you, this is good stuff. If you want to like engineer something, like build a bridge, or, that someone says is impossible. Like you can't build a bridge over that gorge. Drink one of these. You'll fucking try and do it. You might die.
Is that your favorite?
I mean, it's not a healthy amount of caffeine. It really makes you kind of crazy. But I think for the show, to kick off the show, eventually this show will be like, I'll be drinking hot tea because I'm going to overload my nervous system. But this is if you want your thyroid to operate at peak performance, if you kind of want to pretend you have hyperthyroidism, but you're not lucky enough to be blessed with hyperthyroidism. Like Elon Musk, for example, who must be blessed with hyperthyroidism. I mean, he's eventually going to collapse into a heap, but in the meantime, he's going to get to space. But this mimics it in small doses. I am Jeff Bezos for like a half an hour after I drink this.
There's like 10 cups of coffee in there.
My labor policies are barbaric for like 45 minutes. All right, welcome to the show. And now, if you're listening on the podcast, we've got the podcast up on Spotify now, thanks to Eric Wilson, our technical director. I'd like to welcome the power directors to our chat. I'd also like to say that I am posting something to my Patreon, which is Patreon/Chris Crofton, I believe. Chris Crofton, CHRISCROFTON, Patreon, PATREON. And we are looking for canaries there. Canaries on this show mean dollars. Eric, what are you doing with my picture? Well, just leave it because it's driving me insane. Just make me whatever size it is. That's fine. Right there is good.
He doesn't like that we got so close to the blemishes.
Eric Wilson's in charge of this picture collage. I can't be too mean to him or else we'll have no show. If I didn't do this myself, I'd be holding a TV show. And now I've disappeared. Oh, I'm back. Look at that. Still old. So I'd like to introduce Greg Crofton to give a little bit of information on all the ways, which are dollars on this show. Thanks to if you haven't seen the show, go to YouTube and watch. Was it the last episode where we did the origin story of canaries?
I believe so. Yes.
Yeah. So you can find out. It's Jimmy Valiant, this wrestler from the 80s, called dollars.
Boogie Woogie Man.
Canaries. He called dollars canaries, and he was talking about how the challenge. That if someone hit him with a stick, he would get $50. And Jimmy Valiant kept saying, "Oh no, $100." And he would say, "You telling me you're going to give me 100 canaries for hitting you with that stick one time?" Anyway, so just look up the last show. It's on YouTube. So Greg, go ahead.
If you're listening to this as a podcast, links to the videos we're watching today will be listed in a pinned tweet on Chris's Twitter at The Crofton Show. For bonus content, join Chris's Patreon at Chris Crofton. Cold Brew Got Me Like, also available to watch on YouTube channel Cold Brew Got Me Like. And now we're on Spotify too.
Oh my gosh. That's so fucking great. Are we on Spotify only, or are we also on like Apple Music and shit
We'll
like
be
that.
on Apple Podcasts eventually. We're having to go through some sort of like vetting process, and we're on Spreaker, and we're on a few other.
We're on Spreaker. Everybody rush
like
over to
Deep
Spreaker.
Cedar, Debaser. We're on all the bizarrely named podcast apps.
Everybody run over to Spreaker, most frighteningly named podcast organization. Do you want me to hang up? Do you want me to hang up, Eric, and then rejoin? So this will stop, maybe? I'm going to try it right now. You guys have fun. Get away. I'm going to hang up so I can stop being different sizes. Hello, Power Directors. I've lost my fucking mind. Hello, Power Directors. We're back. I went and just took a quick shower. Nothing has happened. I fixed the Wi-Fi. Now I can hear myself coming back at me. Where is that coming out of?
Eric. I think Eric has it playing.
Oh my God. Cold Brew got the fucking reins of this
Cold
show.
Brew got me like.
Okay, guys, just don't look at the show. The show, you're supposed to look at it, but look, we need to stop my fucking picture from doing that. I can't fucking take it. Let's just play a video. Is that going to make it go away? We just need to get past this segment. Let's just play a fucking video. Hello, welcome to the show. Cold Brew got me like flawless nightmare. Welcome to the pandemic. Welcome to the new United States.
I heard this swamping sound, and that's why I thought I had a flat. But I couldn't understand because we just put new tires on, and
Okay, we need a little context.
Beating on his...
Let me give you a little context. Okay,
this is the home of real big fish.
This is a very believable woman talking about her encounter with a Sasquatch in 1971 from the Washington Sasquatch Sightings KGW archive. I actually just think it's called the KG. I think it's just a news station archive. And I was flipping through YouTube one of these late nights, and this is just some quality footage of a woman talking about a real creature, in my opinion.
But before I stopped the car, I heard this swamping sound, and that's why I thought I had a flat.
Pause it one more time. We do have to reference something I didn't notice, that the name of her town is Skamania.
The Boss Tones, baby.
So I wonder, do they have did 311? Is 311 ska? Actually, I don't even know if that is. But Mighty Boss Tones.
I think their genre is Amber is the color of your energy. I think they're pre-Juggalo.
Who is the ska band then? Well, whatever. They had to have had some local promoter Some local promoter must have attempted to have a festival there called Skamania. Anyway, go ahead.
I thought I had a flat, but I couldn't understand because we just put new tires on, and I
thought if she had a flat, she couldn't understand it because she had new tires.
It was only about probably 1 foot from the pole.
You hear, in this area, you hear noises at night, I understand.
Oh, yeah.
There aren't cougar noises. There aren't bear noises.
No. Right. There's no noise to describe it, really, because I just never heard anything like it. Cougars don't make that noise. Bears don't. Elk or moose or whatever else around.
Something else is out there.
There's something else out there, okay. And it's not just at night, it's in the daytime, too, because they've been hearing them day, night, evening, mornings, even high noon.
Do you see things? Is it just
even high noon?
Noises mostly, other than when I've seen this creature down there. It's below Beacon Rock. There's a real wide shoulder just as you go across the bridge, and I just pulled up. I just knew I had a flat, but I couldn't understand. So I got out, and I always keep my right door locked. I get out on the left, and I go around with my back to the woods, and I look up and under my car, around the wheel, no flat. So I feel up in there, and while I'm feeling, I suddenly turn around, and I'm face to face with him. I mean, it just felt like there was something staring at me, is why I looked.
And you were face to face with?
Eye to eye, just about 15 feet from me.
What was it?
I don't know. As far as I know, I suppose it'd be Bigfoot, but He was the biggest
A
animal
child
I've ever
moaning?
seen.
Yes.
The monster that Mrs. Baxter saw was 12 feet tall. As tall as...
All right, stop it. That, I have to say, as a man who's researched Bigfoot for a long time, is by far the biggest Bigfoot I've ever heard of, which leads me to believe it's possible she may have encountered a basketball player. It's hard to say, but it's a very tall Bigfoot. Bigfoots are generally 7-8 feet tall. You never hear 12 feet. But I believe in Bigfoot, so it's possible that this was just like, whatever. We have tall humans. This might have been just a real tall one. Back to this.
These bushes behind me. Her story is similar to dozens of others told every year in this area about people who got fleeting glimpses of the Bigfoot.
Well, the first thing we do naturally is sort of check on the people themselves. You have a lot of people who see things all the time. So before we really get serious about one of these reports, we assure ourselves
local
that
child
they're responsible
molester.
people. And then our second step is to find out what they saw.
You've got a lot of experience as a reporter. What's your attitude about Sasquatch?
Well, I've been investigating these reports and so on, and it seems to me that there's a preponderance of evidence, and I'm, let's say, 95, 98% that there is such an animal. I want to see one, but I think there is.
Sheriff, you don't think that thing is a fake, right?
I think not. It has the possibility of being a real
Look at that
footprint.
guy.
What makes you think that might be a genuine footprint?
He looks like a soda jerk.
Well,
I've never
as
seen a
we,
sheriff with a bow
discussed
tie.
In the
So
the
pause it for a
locality-
minute. He looks like oh, fuck. I didn't know he was holding a footprint.
I think
Fuck.
that's just a big brick of ganja.
Or is that like his badge? In
Badge man. Badge man.
Skamania, they carry around a Bigfoot track instead of a badge. But this guy looks like an ice cream man. I mean, who let him out of the house with that bow tie? Doesn't he have a girlfriend or something that could have said, like, listen, you look more like an ice cream man than a sheriff, and put
Sheriff
down
is
the
an
Bigfoot
honorary
track.
title in this community, in Skamania.
I can't wait to go Skamania. Listen, if we get enough canaries in the old canary jar, we absolutely have to go to Skamania.
Yes.
We want to fund a trip to Skamania. It's the first place I want to go. And I want to find this lady. There's a good chance she's alive. She's what in that? People always looked older than they looked
Born
like.
child
That
that's
lady
praying
looks
like an
she's
ass.
60. She was probably 19. So she's definitely alive. And we can go find her and we can talk to her about, do you think really 12 feet? Or maybe she's extremely short. She might be 3 feet tall and the Bigfoot was only like 7 feet tall. There's a possibility of that. She probably thinks everything's 12 feet tall. This guy should have asked her how tall he thought she thinks a mailbox is.
Lady, how tall am I?
Yeah, how tall is a mailbox? She'd be like, I don't know, about 40 feet. Oh, fuck, you're insane. That explains it, because I never heard of a Bigfoot that tall. Now back to this ice cream man holding a Bigfoot track that they call a sheriff
this
up
was
there.
found. And the area in which we picked this out of
Is
was
that
not in
Bigfoot
a
track
wide
made of
open
nougat?
area in
I
which
think that's a candy
somebody would
bar.
have free access all the way around, but near this landing site where the trucks drove in was off to the side of the road.
Oh my God, this guy can't even speak English.
If you assume that is a real footprint, that means that somewhere in your county, you must have somebody that can make that kind of footprint.
That's very possible.
Dark brown, with terrible glowing eyes. His
You
head
said
was
it.
Hold on
partner.
a second, please pause it. So he accused like some community member of making that footprint? Who the fuck? Who are they disparaging? Was that like a
Hooligans.
wink, wink? Like that was probably like large Mar from down at the. I mean, like, was that an inside joke about somebody with big feet from the county? And what was
Felt
that?
racist.
What did that sheriff say? What
Yeah.
did that sheriff say? He said like landing place for a truck. He didn't even make any sense. I bet he took a bite of that Bigfoot track. I bet the sheriff took a bite of the Bigfoot track right after they cut it. All right, go
sort
ahead.
of reseated. I suppose that's the word. Big teeth, long hair. I suppose it was 3 or 4 inches long. And big wide shoulders. There was no neck. I mean, it just looked like
Hold
his.
on a second. Please pause it. Wait a minute. Long hair that was 3 or 4 inches long on a 12-foot tall. That wouldn't be long hair. It's like a crew cut on a 12-foot tall animal. This woman does not know sizes. Anyway, back to
Right in.
This lady works for the Chamber of Commerce.
I think she's telling the truth though. If she was lying, she would have had this shit figured out better. A 12-foot tall animal with long hair that's 3 inches long. This woman is this is true. This story is true.
Skamania, it looks like it's east of Portland, about 20, 30 miles.
Well, everything's to the right of Portland, Greg. Come on.
Is that a politics joke?
I'm afraid
Please
so.
don't. Okay. Let's go. Can you turn off John's camera and make my camera work?
I would think that he is, if he is a humanoid type, that he's a shy creature, a harmless creature, one
Look
who
at
wants
this
to
guy.
live his own life.
Armchair psychology.
And keep away from people.
Pause it, please.
Possibly.
This guy's like J.K. Rowling all of a sudden. All right, go ahead.
Yeah, this guy's my guy. This is me.
You like him?
Yeah.
No, I'm a reporter at the Skamania. I would have taken this job in a second.
All right, but I would too. Yeah, you're right.
Attitude.
Kind of a likable animal.
I would think so.
Now, I have never seen it, and I've hunted in the woods for years. But on the other hand, I've never seen a cougar. And I felt, and the Board of County Commissioners felt
That guy's hot.
Yeah.
we should protect this animal.
He's like the local
and
actor.
also
I want him inside.
the lives of our local citizens. People coming into the area with guns and shooting at everything that moves, we might have a fatality.
I was skeptical to start with from the first report we've got, but after having taken this cast, which seemed to be very authentic to us.
Something is out
That's
there.
great, Sheriff. Do you have any nutty buddies?
Mr. Lundy, why did you pass the ordinance? What were the reasons you felt it was necessary to have such an ordinance?
Well, after the animal was first sighted, we had people coming in from the outside area with high-powered rifles and every means to kill the animal. Now, we had an expedition up here from Florida, and it's a scientific group of people and writers, and they've gone into our back area, and they feel very certain there is an animal such as this.
In the course of this thing, we're going to talk to a lot of people who are going to say there is no such thing. That they're.
Oh my God, she's smoking right in front of the baby.
What's your reaction to those people who
give him a drag?
Up and say,
that baby didn't make it past 11. Look at
I
that
don't
baby.
really know.
We may not have
1971.
figured out Bigfoot, but we just figured out sudden infant death
There is, and
syndrome.
I think they're crazy. They don't have such a broad enough mind about it.
You could at least hold it over.
There's simply no doubt in
Not
your
as
mind. There
close
is something
to
there. Something.
There is something, definitely. But put a name on it, I couldn't. It's big and it's terrible looking.
Would he?
Well, there we go. Put a name on it. I couldn't. That's the way they talked back then. And that lady was 19 years old.
That's the pre-credits scene before the opus that this film should rightly be.
Okay, so this is like, first of all, I want to tell you at the outset of the show, I believe in Bigfoot. Lots of people believe in Bigfoot. Eric, maybe you should just kill my camera. I can't take, you know what I mean? Like maybe just turn my camera off.
Chris.
But I don't have to look at it. But the people watching the show, what are they saying? Ask the people in the Power Director chat if they should kill my camera. Are they saying anything? I don't want to. Because someone told me that drove him insane when it kept resizing, like the first episode. Why is it doing it? My camera's not moving. God damn it!
No, it's fine. Is the first.
Okay, all right. Who said that?
You got to let it go.
I don't have to let anything go.
Furthermore,
we
we also forgot in all the hubbub. We forgot to let people know that we will have a pinned tweet with links to these videos.
We did that.
No.
You're just traumatized.
With links to all these videos for those listening to the podcast.
Greg read it. Okay, so we're back to the beginning. We just watched these people from Skamania, Washington, home of the legendary Skamania, featuring such acts as Mighty Mighty Boss Tones, 311, Incubus, all the greatest ska bands. And then
is this the original story of the Bigfoot? Did this lady discover Bigfoot?
Not at all. No. Bigfoot goes back to like Native Americans talking
Wendigo.
about it. Like it's a long time.
So this was just a vivid encounter. This woman was very good on camera.
Yeah,
they decided to go for it.
Pretty believable. I just thought it was kind of nice to see a town full of people who seemed fairly level-headed. I didn't notice their town was called Skamania. It does undermine them a little bit, but they all seem pretty reasonable. So what I'm saying is that woman saw something. Whether it was 3 inches tall or 40 feet tall, it's really impossible to say because she doesn't understand heights and lengths. But she is still, I think, a pretty believable woman. I don't think she's making that shit up. She if that was her moment in the sun, she sure as hell wouldn't be smoking that close to a baby.
She was hard to read. Yeah.
Yeah, she was like serious. And that other guy's 98% sure that there's a Bigfoot and there's 2% of them. I love when people put percentages on it. Like, cause I just like thinking about those
98.
Yeah. Like what are the other 5% of him? Like that he's just like, you asked that, when does that come up?
The other 5% is just a huge beaver.
Just on Thursdays, you ask him and he's like, I don't believe in it. Oh, it's that 2%. So that 2%'s rearing its ugly head. But you usually believe in it. Yeah, you just caught me. I'm a 2%. So anyway, I believe in Bigfoot. Arthur C. Clarke. I don't know if you guys know about Arthur C. Clarke. I'm sure people in the Power Directors chat who are over, 60 probably understand who that is. Arthur C. Clarke was a science fiction author who
wrote 2001, many other stories.
He had a TV show called Arthur C. Clarke's World of Strange Monsters. It's one of my favorite shows. If you want to watch something fun, go find Arthur C. Clarke's World of Strange Monsters. It fucking rules. He has these Japanese guys that were running around a swamp with what they thought was an approximation of an ancient like pterodactyl's like cry. Like they figured out this was definitely analog. They were like walking through a swamp with a tape recorder like over their head so it wouldn't get wet. That was playing the call of a pterodactyl because someone said there was still a pterodactyl alive in the rainforest, and there were just Japanese guys with a huge speaker walking through a swamp playing like sound on the fucking. I mean, it's the greatest thing ever. And on that show, Arthur C. Clarke says, if he had $100, this is a quote, I would put. I can't remember exactly the numbers though. He says like I would put $20 on the Yeti, $30 on Bigfoot, and keep 50 for myself. So he believes in Bigfoot, and there's a lot of evidence that something. And people are like, oh well, there's only one film of him. Why is there only one film of him? There should be millions of films of him, but they're not idiots.
Well, I always believed in the Yeti. I wasn't so much into Bigfoot. I always thought the Yeti was much more impossible.
Where's the Yeti? That's the ice.
That's
man,
in Russia. Like you figure
Siberia.
in Russia and Siberia, there's going to be a Yeti up there. So bored and so much ice. It's a lot more feasible than the forests of.
Wait, do you think there's a Yeti up there? Wait a minute, Greg. You think that the Yeti is up there because he's bored? Wait, what?
Yeah.
What is that?
Well, I mean,
that's where you would go. I just okay.
Exactly. That's what, if I were a Yeti, I would be up there. I would not be in Washington.
Portland.
Yeah.
And why is that? Do you just have more time to yourself? So you consider these beasts to be introspective creatures? Yes,
they have to be introspective, and there's got to be a certain level of evolution. They need to evolve into this creature, and they have to have space.
I agree with that. I feel like that's what my life is. I'm evolving. Some people say I watch YouTube, but I evolve is what I do. I have found a place where I can evolve, and that's what I tell people when they tell me to get a job.
Should we read from the blog story?
Wait a minute, Eric.
But
why did you just moan? You couldn't hear this.
I heard a swamping sound.
Eric, do you want to say something? You can say something if you want.
The idea that like the Yeti just out of boredom.
Can they hear you talking right now?
Out of just boredom.
Yes. Oh, okay.
The Yeti just strolled across the Russian countryside. He's like, this.
Well, he wants private. Yeah. Well, he wants private time. I think Greg's on. Greg is totally right. These
I
people
buy
need
it.
privacy. These guys need
I'm
privacy.
95 to 98% sure that Greg.
They're tired of housewives incorrectly guessing at how tall they are. Like, this is insulting. I'm not 12 feet tall. It makes me sound like a freak. I'm 8'5", standard Bigfoot height. I'm not some sideshow Bigfoot. I'm handsome. So I'm headed for the Arctic, where I can
But
evolve
before I
and
stop
teach.
the car,
Yeah, I think
I
you're
heard-
totally right, Greg.
And the Yeti, the name itself is a lot more scientific. It's more believable. As a child growing up, I was like, the Yeti is a possibility. The Bigfoot, no way.
Okay, Greg, where do you stand on Wendigo? On the Wendigo?
What is that? I've never even heard of that.
That's
I know
the
about
Native
everything.
American Yeti.
Wendigo?
Yeah.
I challenge power directors. Have you ever heard of the Wendigo? He's certainly pronouncing it.
They have. Matt's not a bad name. It goes with Wendigo as one of the scariest stories of them all. And they say yes and yes.
It's like half mule, half
yes and yes to
reindeer or
what?
something.
They have heard of it, and you're saying it right. All right, whatever. You can have your own show about the Wendigo. It sounds like a Winnebago that you're saying wrong. You know what I just realized? I have like these like screens up to like. I thought the sound might be better from my microphone, but there's no light. That's why I'm in the dark. Okay. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Hey, listen, you guys. Guess what this is? Power directors. I've heard of this. This is the main piece of Bigfoot evidence. This is the Patterson Gimlin film. This is the piece of film from 1967 that is the gold standard for Bigfoot videos. And I thought it had been disproven, but it never was. There was some guy who came out and said he was the guy in the ape suit, but he turned out to be a nut who was looking for publicity. And this is the original Patterson Gimlin film. And I once again, not debunked, like cryptozoologists, we were talking about this before the show, that you can kind of put crypto in front of any job. So let me just say crypto paleontologists, crypto biologists, crypto mailmen, crypto soda jerks that are masquerading as sheriffs. This is believed by biologists because they say that the way he walked, they say it could not be faked, and it's not a he. I said he by mistake. This is a female Bigfoot. But first, we're going to see like just some regular footage of Patterson and Gimling frolicking in the woods with their pack mules before they came upon Bigfoot. So let her rip, Eric. It annoys me that whatever website put this fucking thing together put a fake film noise on it. Fucking stupid. I was just gonna maybe let this one go, just so we can see it one time, and then we can run it in a circle.
Yeah, this is modern art.
Yeah,
it's pretty beautiful.
They've got
to me,
burros.
this is the stuff that got me through my childhood in fucking,
This is like the beginning of McCabe and Mrs. Miller.
Preppy money Yeah, this should have gotten the Academy Award. Is it too late to get a Lifetime Achievement Award for this thing? Or to redo it, like James Brolin as the pack mule.
Well, I'm kind of pissed that Jim Jarmusch made a movie called Patterson recently, because this to me is Patterson.
Well, this is like what saved me. This is the kind of shit that saved me from my childhood in preppy Connecticut. All anyone in Connecticut talks about is money. And I watched this and I said, there's something else. There's something to live for. And it's grainy footage.
It's Zapruder films
it's fucking grainy
ferment.
footage. I love grainy footage. I hate golf. I mean, truly, this is my shit. Look at this. Even just how pretty this is, just as a piece of film. That's Gimlin. That's not Patterson.
So they're going to look for the Bigfoot right now?
Yeah, they had heard a report that there was a Bigfoot. They had heard a report there was a Bigfoot in this area, and they were going to check it out, but they hadn't seen anything. And so then they were just like filming each other, like riding around. You know,
So this is like a Saturday. They're off work.
Yeah, exactly. And this never would have gotten, man, this piece of film, it's a good thing a Bigfoot showed up because honestly, it's pretty boring. I mean, they're not gonna, this is the kind of thing like the kids would have dug through and just been like, well, there's more of dad and his, you know, his boyfriend running around the woods. Look at that face. Do you see that face in the woods? That look, the guy looks like Marlon Brando. I've never seen that before. We might need a closer look at this film at some point. Oh, here we go. Okay.
There we go.
Here it is. He jumps off the horse. That's why I know the story. He jumps off the horse. That's why his camera's jiggling around. And as your camera would jiggle around too if you saw a fucking Bigfoot. And there it is. There's a fucking Bigfoot. And it's a female Bigfoot.
Look how fast he's going.
100% true. I feel like this Bigfoot most of the time.
Look at the.
I know that's the thing is people are. That's one of the reasons why people are like. But the main thing is people who think it's a suit. It's a female Bigfoot. It's known as Patty. I didn't know that. I don't know why it's known as Patty, but it has breasts. It's a female Bigfoot. You can see breasts, and whoever like Crypto.
I could sense that she's going back to protect her young or something. Like she's
yes.
like, get the fuck away from me.
Yes, totally.
Maybe she's just bored.
Crypto perverts have pointed out that they talk about the breast. They're not crypto perverts. They're paleontologists, and they talk about there's no way someone's going to make an ape suit with breasts on it because it'd be so hard. And
you tell me you can't get an ape suit with breasts on it?
Not in 1967, apparently. At least not a good one.
Maybe that's their whole angle, though. They're like, no one would believe that there's an ape suit if we put.
Sure, okay, if you're going to be you're going to be one of those people. But I'm a believer in Bigfoot, and it makes sense. There's got to be a missing link. What do you think? We went straight from like drooling. We came right out of the pond and then just cleaned ourselves up. What do you think? We just came out of the pond and parted our hair?
You had like Henry Kissinger along the way.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. You're wrong. This is the missing link, and there's no way that anybody could make an ape costume with boobs on it. I'm sorry.
I think you're right.
So, all right, no, I'm just being a jerk. So,
well, no, but where did they see the breasts? I don't quite.
Oh, we can't. Yeah. We have to look at a different piece of footage. I mean, this film.
So they analyzed it, right?
Oh my God, this film has been through the ringer. I'm surprised there's anything left of it. I'm sure there's copies, but yeah, it's like the Zapruder film. It's been stabilized, it's been zoomed in on, and yeah, you can see breasts. And
it seems kind of strange that the Sasquatch would be out in broad daylight like that.
I mean, this is 1967.
Okay, Greg, tell me, get back into the mental, the wherewithal of the Sasquatch. Why do you think she was out like this during broad daylight?
Well, like I said before, I think she may have been disturbed by these intruders, and she came out of her nest and was going to protect her territory, probably. But still, seems odd.
Well, why did she come out and then run away? Why didn't she? She should have strangled these guys.
Women are fickle.
Hey, I got a question. Are they like real cowboys, or you think they just dressed up for this like video shoot?
No. Gimlin, the guy with the pack mule up ahead there, I think is the more real cowboy. I think Patterson was the showboat. Patterson was the one no one believed because he made a lot of money from this film, like going around the country showing it to people and charging admission. But Gimlin never really liked to do that because he was more of a real cowboy. And he was like, I just went on this fucking expedition because I had nothing to do that Saturday. And then all of a sudden now all anyone does is tell me I'm a faker and a hoaxer. And it made him mad. And so he always was talking about how I'm not that kind of person. Like that might've been Patterson. He's definitely made some money off this, but I'm a real cowboy ranch guy. I've been riding around the woods my whole life. And I'm tired of people yelling at me and saying I'm about talking about an ape suit. It ruined his life. Gimlin, if Gimlin was set up, it's possible that Patterson didn't tell Gimlin and had his friend, some divorcee dressed up in a boob suit, You know, but it was a trick on Gimlin then, because as far as Gimlin's concerned, this was real, because he's like, I wouldn't participate in any of this Hollywood nonsense. This was not my plan. I did not want to spend the rest of my life being talked to about an ape. I wanted to be a cowboy.
Bigfoot with boobs.
Yeah, I'm a rancher. I know how to tie fucking ropes and shit. I don't want to hear about Bigfoot suits anymore. So really, I support Gimlin. I want to make sure
like the Buzz Aldrin of this voyage.
Exactly. Would the power directors buy a shirt that just said Gimlin on it?
I'm watching the chat
font, in a badass font, like in an old Western font. And would the power directors mind if I called them Gimlins from now on instead of power directors?
That's high praise.
Yeah, I think so too. Greg's a Gimlin. You, my friend, John Burr, Patterson. You unfortunately are a Patterson.
Patterson's got the Neil Armstrong energy. He's got a speech written out.
And in this scenario, Eric, unfortunately, you are a pack mule.
One Bigfoot for mankind.
Man, I'm Brolin.
All right, you're James Brolin. James Brolin is the mule.
Should we have Greg read a little info as we?
Okay, now here's the good part, power directors, Gimlins. Here's the good part, Gimlins. You're not going to believe this shit. Okay, now if you guys have been on Daily Zeitgeist or listened to it when I was on it, which I know a lot of you have, because Daily Zeitgeist saved my life. Fans, great people, introduced me to great people who support me. So on one of those appearances, I talked about the fact that apparently when Mount St. Helens erupted, a bunch of Bigfoots were, and I don't know, I say Bigfoots, big feet. I mean, it's kind of fun to say them both ways because it makes you sound dumb, and I like sounding dumb kind of on purpose sometimes, like Bigfoots. But I don't, it's not big feet. No one says big feet. But anyway, when Mount St. Helens erupted in 1980, before any of you Gimlins were born, apparently that was a place where a lot of big feet lived. And a lot of them were killed along with a lot of other animals in this eruption in 1980. And then apparently the Army Corps of Engineers collects the bodies of animals after disasters, which I had no idea that was true, and I'm still not sure if it's true. But they also collected a lot of dead Bigfoots, but there are also injured Bigfoots that were apparently treated in medical tents and stuff. And even some Army Corps of Engineer people spoke Bigfoot with them and apparently have linguists. The Army has linguists that know how to speak Bigfoot. So this is all stunning news to me. You know, I've been following this kind of shit my whole life, and this was just, I couldn't believe it. And I'm very excited about it. And Greg, take it away.
So the story was told to a Bigfoot blog, and it's run by a guy named Sean. And so he starts out by saying, "Dear Sean, I was reading some of the stories about Mount St. Helen on the message boards and wanted to share this one. I only ask that you withhold my name. I was a National Guardsman at the Mount St. Helen site, and this is the first time I've ever spoken about what I saw firsthand."
Hell yeah. You hear it here first, secondhand, Gimlins.
"I lived in Spokane, Washington, and was 24 at the time this all took place. I've read some of the other stories, and they only tell part of the story. I was placed on a special cleanup crew farther up the mountain. A large tent was set up, and it was to be guarded by armed soldiers who were not part of the guard. There were numerous soldiers on the scene that were not members of the guard. We were given a briefing by a soldier who said that after he spoke to us, we would forget about him and what he said at the end, and what was said at the end of the mission. Or sorry, what he said at the end of the mission. This was strange, as we never dealt with anything before."
Okay, so far we got these National Guardsmen up there, and then out of nowhere there's these Army guys that aren't usually part of their detail. And the Army guys telling them, like, "Listen, you never saw me." Okay.
"Myself and 4 other guardsmen were told to follow a group of soldiers and not to speak to each other and to remain very quiet overall. We were told to get into a Jeep and wait. We sat in the Jeep for maybe a half hour. Eventually, another Jeep arrived carrying a civilian and another member of the military. The civilian was brought into the tent, and he emerged a few minutes later, followed by a large, hairy creature.
Fuck.
It looked like a man covered in fur, and the best way to describe it was like Beast from X-Men, only brown. The creature looked to have some burns and had a bandage on its arm. At first we were afraid, but when it walked by, we could see its eyes, and it looked very sad and somber.
Okay, pause it, Greg. Pause yourself. This has turned like this technology's turned everybody into rude people. Now, can you read? There was a Bigfoot with a. Can you read the bandage line again?
The creature looked to have some burns and had a bandage on its arm.
Okay, now would the power directors be mad if we called them bandage Bigfoots instead of Gimlins?
I'll await response, Chris.
Okay, doesn't matter. But anyway, from now on, they're for the rest of the episode, they're bandaged Bigfoots. Okay, so sorry about that.
There was a look you could see in his eyes that looked very sad and somber. He climbed into the back of a pickup with the civilian, and the two were speaking in a weird language I had never heard.
Holy fuck!
It would cough at times.
Sounded like ska.
We followed the truck to
This is a
different
good
areas.
story, John.
There were 5 total stops. We were told to follow the civilian and the creature. Each time we followed them to rocky areas where there were caves. The creature would make a sound and then listen. At the first area, he made a sound, and we all just waited in silence. After a few minutes, the creatures looked at the civilian and then at the ground. The civilian at one point touched its shoulder and canteen to give the creature a drink.
Okay, now I do think that this man who's relating this story, I'm amazed at how calm he is in this scenario. Anyway, that there's people speaking Bigfoot, that there's a Bigfoot that's like sad and being comforted by humans. Like, I just feel like I would probably run away. I can't believe he's there. Oh, I guess you're under orders.
In the Jeep, for God's sake, right?
Yeah, but I mean, he's under orders, I guess. So, I guess if an army person's so well trained, it's like if someone told them to ride the Loch Ness Monster like a horsey, they probably would have, said, yes, sir, So, okay.
The same thing happened at the next area, but this time there was a response to the sound. After a few minutes, 2 soldiers emerged from the cage carrying a badly burned creature just like the one with the civilian. The creature bent down next to it and looked it over for about 5 minutes. It then spoke softly with the civilian and turned and walked back to the truck. We were told to follow. As we were walking away, we heard a shot, and we knew it was one of the soldiers putting the creature out of its misery.
So the Bigfoot walked back to the truck.
Yep.
That's what it's saying, right?
Yeah.
Bigfoot was like, let's look at my friend here. He's too far gone. I'm going to go back to the truck, and then you guys take care of him.
That person never moved like that.
So these guys have hung out. This Bigfoot has definitely been around humans before because he's behaving in a very casual manner, or certainly at home. I mean, I guess if they speak the language already, these army people have been involved with these Bigfoots before, is the implication.
Well, also the big feet have empathy. They don't let their own suffer.
Yeah, they're between man and rat, or however the evolution thing works.
They're pro-Kevorkian.
Yeah, like half rat, they're half man, or they're on their way to being a man, or they're like some bridge between man and muskrat.
There was no response at the 3rd or 4th site, but at the 5th there was another return sound to the creature. This time it was different, and soldiers carried out a creature with a badly... Oh, I already read that part. Didn't I? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We then immediately returned to the base camp. The creature was carried into the tent while the...
Okay. I just can't believe the way he's saying he spoke. What? I just picture it happening. It's like... And this Bigfoot's going to be sad. So the Bigfoot's...
Usually, Officer
Control.
Yeah, the soldier probably needed more cold brew to speak to the Bigfoot.
Oh my God!
I'm losing the language.
Yeah, I can't speak Bigfoot until I've had quite a bit of coffee. Oh my God! Oh God! And the Bigfoot's sad, so he's like,
since we established that the Bigfoot had breasts, can we just rename Bigfoot She-Dog?
If you want, that's fine. Yes.
We then immediately returned to the base camp. The creature was carried into the tent while the other creature and the civilian spoke. We were ordered to stay in the jeep. till we were to be debriefed. As the creature turned to walk into the tent, it looked at us.
They removed their briefs.
Made a waving gesture with its hand. We took it as a thank you for what we had done.
That's nice. Is that it?
No. By the time we were ordered that Jeep, we were all in shock. We were all called over to an area to be debriefed, and it was just strange. I will never forget what was said because it was not just what it was just not what was expected. I thought I would hear, "You took an oath, and now you need to live up to it for your country," with a threat also implied. A different high-ranking soldier just said, "Look, do you all really want an explanation? You saw what we were doing. These creatures live in these areas. They mean no harm, and they want to be left alone. Do you really want to do anything that may cause them trouble? They're like us in a lot of ways. If you need or want to talk about this, just wait about 30 years. By that time, there will likely be no reason to keep them a secret."
That sounds like the U.S. military to me. Very peaceful.
Yeah, that doesn't sound right. That's the only part that sounds fake to me.
We were then ordered back to the guard camp because they were breaking it up so no one saw too much and knew everything that happened. We did not speak of it, and after a few months, I just took the attitude that these things live out there, and honestly, my life is no different because of it. I only bring it up now because people have been writing a lot about it, Mount St. Helens, and believe that the whole story should be told. I will also say this. I like to camp and hike, and I've done so many times throughout the Northwest. Every time I would look for signs of these creatures, tracks, listen for sounds, etc. I never saw or heard anything other than what I did that day on Mount St. Helens.
Unbelievable. So there you go.
Yes,
and
very.
people who say that Patterson and Gimlin are like, oh well, if there's one film of Bigfoot, there should be 100,000 films of Bigfoot. But this is proof that big feet are elusive, even to men who have seen them speak with other men and be bandaged and all these things, and they still will not. Big feet are a sophisticated group. I do not believe this stuff about the U.S. Army saying leave them alone, though. I feel like the U.S. Army would have them on treadmills operating like a light bulb. Like, I mean, they would have them walking on treadmills operating machines or something. They would use them for some reason. They would be mean to them. They wouldn't be nice to them. So I don't know. That's the only part to me that sounds suspect.
What person ever moved like that in the history of people?
Okay, here, can you play it? Okay, this is, thank you, Greg.
What person ever moved like that in the history of people?
So this is a clip from, No, not a clip. Oh, no, just the audio clip. This is an audio clip from one of my favorite shows, Trailer Park Boys. I'm one of the few people who found out about Trailer Park Boys like 2 years ago. I was like, have you guys seen Trailer Park Boys? To like young people, and they're like, yeah, in college in like 1999. And I'm like, it's incredible. I can't get anyone on board. They're like, I'm kind of tired of it. Not me. I think it's the greatest show ever. And I just found out about it. So I love it. Love it. Anyway, but one of the things they have is they call Bubbles calls Sasquatch Sam Squanch, and that's fun. And there's an episode where they're watching a TV show. Ricky and his daughter are watching a TV show about Sasquatch, and Ricky says, "What person?" Because this is the comeback that everyone always says, like it's an ape suit. And then people say, yeah, but no one could walk like that. And then Ricky says, so Ricky's daughter says, I don't believe it's real. And then Ricky says this.
What person ever moved like that in the history of people?
It's just my favorite thing. What person ever moved like that in the history of people? And that's exactly what people who say to doubters about this clip we're watching right now.
Ricky's the guy with the car, right?
Ricky's the guy with like the pompadour, and he's like the idiot.
She kind of just walks like pro wrestler Scott Hall, Razor Ramon. She's kind of a loping villainous.
Play it one more time. That clip.
What person ever moved like that in the history of people?
He has me there.
Oh, I love that. Okay. Well, we've done it. We've brought you something hopefully you hadn't heard about in depth. You know that these big feet were injured at Mount St. Helens, and were treated by army men, and then the men were told to be quiet, and they did be quiet until this guy just couldn't read any more Bigfoot blogs without chiming in. They finally did, and we found it. We found it, and this guy went back to his regular life, and you guys can too. I'm sure you guys will be able to deal with this. I hope I haven't ruined anybody's life. Gimlins, I hope I haven't given you too much information so that you won't be able to live your regular life. But just remember that this guy saw a Sasquatch talking to a regular person.
What trigger warning should we have put in front of this episode now that I think about it?
Game changer.
Yeah.
Warning, game changer.
I'm looking at the Wikipedia for that video that we played.
Yeah.
And it looks like Patterson put a lot of money into this documentary.
What do you mean?
You know, ape suit, $600.
Yeah,
ape tits, $800.
Stop that! Don't say that. That's not the. You go on a different podcast to say that. Yes, Greg.
He said in the summer of '67, apparently after getting $700 from the Radfords and shooting some of his documentary, they tried unsuccessfully to attract investors to help further his fund for the
further his fund for what?
For the Bigfoot movie.
Yeah, but what do you mean the Bigfoot movie? Was he making a movie based on that piece of footage, or are you talking about funding? I think the understanding is that he did that footage and then tried to build a career out of it. Are you saying that he needed?
So I'm saying, like, you can't make anything good not happen if you don't have any money. That's what I'm saying.
You mean he promoted
it
once he found out about it?
Well, no, it took money to create the film too. I mean, you don't get that beautiful footage for free.
What do you mean? That was just a Super 8 camera and like 2 mules, right? I mean, what was the budget?
Keep going.
Well, I'm just reading the Wikipedia.
They're saying you're saying on the Wikipedia that they said he basically budgeted that trip, like with crowdfunded it in some primitive way.
Yeah, that's what it kind of says.
Like, I need mule money. I need mule money. I need enough money to keep this Gimlin guy shut up because he's like a straight shooter type.
Yeah. So I don't know. There was some planning strategy behind it. Maybe some canaries behind it.
I don't know. This is the thing. I thought this thing was fake. I was stunned to reinvestigate this sometime during the pandemic and do a deep YouTube dive until I found this Gimlin guy completely believable. And he's like, it was real. And all this, I don't care if Patterson tried to make a living out of it. For me, it was real. And I'm tired of hearing about ape suits. So he's like, that was real, and I'm a rancher, and I'm sick of being insulted.
So you don't think there's a single chance that Gimlin was the Patsy melt here?
I mean, there's a chance that Gimlin was paid off, I guess, but he's really done. I would say Gimlin's doing an Academy Award.
No, like Gimlin's a legit salt of the earth guy that anyone's gonna believe, and Patterson brings him out there with his burros, and Blair Witch projects him and scares.
Yeah, but how do you explain the boobs then?
Okay, I mean, the boobs is your checkmate maneuver, which I respect.
Plus the fact that no person in the history of people has ever walked like that.
Yeah.
What person ever moved like that in the history of people?
I really think that I don't know. I don't know. I'm honestly, I do believe that there's a lot of pretty good stories from pretty people. Actually, Patterson's not the best example of like Bigfoot being real. There's a lot of people that woman talking about the 12-foot tall AAA man who came to fix her tire.
Yeah, I believe Shelley Duvall for sure.
She was more believable in a way, but I still think I was surprised to learn that nobody has really debunked. They've attempted to debunk that video, that film that we just saw many times, and there are still cryptozoologists, some professors,
head cream sheriffs.
Are these guys interviewed, or has Gimlin been interviewed on camera ever?
Oh yeah, over and over again. I mean, Gimlin makes personal appearances. I mean, I got full disclosure.
Oh, we should play some of that next episode.
Yeah, I mean, I might be very. I mean, he has made personal appearances, but he insists he's only making personal appearances. He says he's only making personal appearances to defend himself. Which could be a lie. I mean, everything could be a lie, though. What are we, QAnon? I believe. Well, I don't want to get into like Gimlin being part of the damn Gimlin. Who knows? Gimlin. You can't stop saying that once you start.
on this panel, on our show, I'm the expert of the Bigfoot because I've actually held the Bigfoot cast in my life.
When?
Remember, I told you we mentioned it a couple shows
at
ago.
School, like at junior high.
Saks Middle School.
I wonder if I
they
did
came
too.
and presented, and they said this is the guy who was interested in the Bigfoot, and so they drew me up, and they let me hold the track, and I got my picture in the paper. And I was interested in Bigfoot, probably because you or something. I was like,
we need to find that picture.
My brother likes Bigfoot.
We need to find that picture.
Oh, it's around. I saw it the other day, I think.
Oh, we got to find it. We want to, that's the shirt. That's the shirt. You holding a Bigfoot track. And it says Gimlin on the back. We'll make $1 million and shut this podcast down.
There were 2 guys that came to visit, and like one of them guys had a white beard, which gave them scientific authority.
Definitely. I bet they went out for a few drinks and hit the salad bar with their money.
Yeah.
Back then, that was what it was all about. Hey, you guys want
Brock's.
Yeah, they went to Brock's. That's where me and Greg used to go. It's like one of those salad bar places. Dark lighting, a lot of like Renaissance looking lighting for some reason. Like kind of like a lot of restaurants back then were trying to like emulate like ship innards.
Oh, nice. Like
below
galleys?
decks. Like, yeah, like below decks kind of vibe. Below decks were the knights, but it was like kind of like where knights live also. It was like knights that were on a boat.
Serve pizza.
And knights on boats always had salad bars, apparently.
He probably was like Gimlin. That place was a real cash grab, wasn't it?
Right. And they high-fived over the salad bar. I mean, that's
let's get back to Scaville.
That's a total possibility. Man, this French onion soup paid for by Bigfoot.
You want another scotch?
Yeah.
Jesus,
another
we're
scotch
so
on
fucked.
Bigfoot.
But anyway,
you should be an actor. Gimlin, you should be named Meryl Gimlin. You know, like Meryl Streep. Ha ha! Bigfoot paid for the steak.
When that little guy got hold of that,
Bigfoot.
I got nervous when we gave that plaster to that little kid, but he handled it okay.
Yeah, he didn't drop it. Those are expensive to make.
Here, hand it to this soda jerk sheriff next.
They have to pay off like a bowling alley pro shop guy to make the tracks, like like a trophy maker or whatever. Like, or I don't know. I'm kind of confusing whether trophy makers actually work at pro shops or whether pro shops just have trophies in them. But yeah, they had to pay off some like guy to make the tracks. Like, listen, man, I don't like this. Here's a little Bigfoot money. Maybe it'll calm you down. I was like, all right, I'll make them again. But this is the last time. I'm tired of making these tracks. I come home covered in plaster. My wife asks questions. You're not making Bigfoot tracks again, are you? No. Why are you covered in plaster? I ran into a truck. What kind of truck? What do you mean you ran into a truck? Don't bother me. I'm trying to put food on the table. You been hanging around with Gimlin again?
Quit smoking around the baby.
I can always tell you've been drinking with Gimlin when you come home covered in plaster. Gimlet's with Gimlin, eh? Sorry.
You've taken Gimlin as far as it can go.
Okay. But you got to say that, Greg, you're right though, that like they toured junior highs. They definitely got paid from like the fund. I mean, junior highs in my hometown, golf and Money Central. I'm sure they had a pretty good entertainment budget for the junior high. So they probably made like $2,500 to come through. But I don't think Gimlin was involved in that. He might have come through later to say that he meant business and wasn't part of this showboat crowd. He probably only got half the money.
Well, I remember a coat and a white beard.
Yeah, if you're going to tell someone a Bigfoot story, you better look like Bigfoot a little bit. That helps. Okay, well, we're almost to the end of the show, and thank you guys so much, as usual, for being here. Highlight of my week, which tells you a lot about the rest of my week. Just kidding. Listen, I really enjoy doing this show, and I'm so glad you guys tune in. So we got one last thing for you, which is we're going to take a look at this. Our friends, well, let's just roll it. Whenever. I don't mean to be like... Roll it, like just
Keep hearing hay.
total jerk.
Oh, lights going off, guys. Hey guys, welcome back to Crossroads. We are in Mom and Dad's basement trying to do an investigation. I'm with my sister.
All right, pause it real quick. I am such a big. I have high hopes for Crossroads Explorers. This video is recent. This is from a couple days ago. So they're still making videos. This is another one that has like 26 views on it. No one has told them that their logo doesn't need an apostrophe in it, which I think is mean. They've got now a ghost coming out of the shower as they're opening. Like wet footprints or something. Like, I don't know what that is.
I was ready to start rapping over that beat.
Right. And then, but they can't, there has to be a better segue. They can't just go straight to we're in Mom and Dad's basement after that opening.
Yeah. Here we are back in Mom and Daddy's.
Thud. Yeah, like thud. Like, okay. Oh, ghost. What the? Oh, Mom and Dad's basement and a fucking Donald Duck doll. So this is another thing this man has a problem with. Okay. I know that machine that's on the screen right now. That's like an app you can get on your phone. That's called like a ghost thing. You can get it on your phone. Everybody, the Gimlins, the Bandage Bigfoots in the chat, they can get these things. They're like, it's a free app, and it generates words. But right in the app, it says it's basically a novelty. It's not supposed to be real. It generates words like it's supposed to pick up electromagnetic fields. That's one thing. Okay, so you picked up an electromagnetic field. That doesn't mean it's a ghost, even though on these shows they always assume it's a ghost every time, instead of an outlet or something. But on top of it, this thing just spits out words. Now, the problem with this man on Crossroads Explorer is that he thinks these words are said by ghosts. He acts like they're said by ghosts, but these are just generated by this app. So he just keeps saying like the ghost said this, which is just a huge leap. Anyway. So we can watch these people. This is him and his sister. He got his sister involved. I guess his girlfriend must have left him after that debacle in the park where she was made to watch Curious George while he strolled around. He strolled the grounds talking about how nice a day it was while she had to stare at a fucking stuffed Curious George at the bottom of a tree.
What person ever moved like that in the history of people?
Okay.
There she is. You can see her a little bit. There's a shadow. There she is. We got the ghost tool, and we're going to be doing the necrophonic. In case you didn't see our last basement video, I will put that down in the link in the description area. Also, she's put Donald Duck down here, the cat ball. There's an EMF. The cat ball has gone off a few times for you, and the flashlight has too. Over here where the well is, where we're getting some shadow activities, is where the REM pod is at. So we can hear it if it goes off. So, but we'll
shadow
see.
Activities.
I'm gonna have to duck.
Cat ball.
Spirits, can you tell us your name and who you are, please?
Let me know when you want me to start the next.
You can go ahead whenever you want.
Can you hit the cold brew got me like thing?
I'm just trying to get to where we can have
cold brew got me like.
Now we did get activity back here on the steps one time too. The EMF detector.
Like
Matter of fact, I put mine over there.
Oh, look, a walker! It's like they didn't even move any of the shit.
As a kid, okay, guys, I just now started back up. We were hearing a lot of different voices come through the necrophonic. One sounded like a kid wailing, possibly. Can you light something up for spirits?
Hopefully, a woman.
Oh God, I can't take it. What is that?
That sounds really interesting. Let me get back over here.
He has basically a haunted house noisemaker machine going that he's taking
American
seriously.
First word. Okay. Spirits, you can light these things up. Can you light up one of these things with the duck sat, please?
Cat ball.
Spirits. All right, pause it for a second. You can't just go, spirits. You light up one of these things, or maybe one by the duck. can't tell a spirit in that tone of voice to do anything. They'll
Well, he's
fucking
got
tell you to
Patterson light up the Daffy Duck.
Oh, God, his sister probably had high hopes for him. Maybe she's with him in the basement trying to tell him to go back to school. I just can't believe spirits. I mean, spirits. Why are there spirits? What have you established? There's no. You didn't even say if this is haunted or anything. It's just dark. Okay. Anyway, I just got it. These guys need a technical advisor.
Heard hay would sound like. Don't know.
Cooler back there might be a Yeti.
Okay. We can pretty much hear anything and see everything. You can. I think you can see the green light.
There's the Yeti.
Over there, possibly. Not too good. Yeah, there it is. So you can see the green light if it goes off too. If we're pointing in that direction. This has been the activity spot, guys.
This makes you feel sorry.
And then a shadow
Duck.
figure from right over here where the red rim pod is.
Donald Duck is like
came all the way through the.
Looks like he was
stopped
abducted.
about right here where the furnace is at.
No pun intended. Get it? Abducted. That's pretty
So we
good.
got complain. And then.
Okay.
Oh, God.
So the next
if you're
word is
listening
complain.
to the podcast and you're not looking at this
Who's
video, let me
complaining?
just two people who obviously have some mental problem in the basement of their mom and dad's house, a brother and sister. They turned the lights out in their mom and dad's basement. They didn't say anything happened there. They didn't say anybody drowned or anything. They just started. They have a duck. They have a stuffed duck sitting in a chair in the dark, like a Donald Duck doll, and he's holding. They make the ducks. I've seen this channel a bunch. They make. To make it more fun, they put these EVP detectors or like these electromagnetic. He's showing a word he got on his machine that's a novelty joke machine. He's got a word generating machine, and every time that generates a word, he shows it and says, "Go set it." So there's this poor,
muscle.
So then, what did it say? What did the ghost say?
Muscle.
Yeah, he's like, I don't know what that means. That's what he always says afterwards. He's like, well, I don't know what that means. But
Matthew, can you light something
I'll
up for us,
take
please?
it. You know what I mean? Like their version of it is just like, I'll take it. Look, a light went on. I'll take it. I don't know what that means, but keep watching. So anyway, there's a duck in a chair. There's a stuffed Donald Duck looking frightened in a chair with a EVP or, some kind of electromagnetic detector next to it. And so they think it makes it more fun if they say like the duck went off instead of like the machine. So we're back to like, we're looking at a duck in a chair. We're looking at a chair in the basement.
Can you tell me about the well? I don't know how to use it.
That's his sister.
Heard a
It's not a
leave,
ghost.
and I
That's
heard
his
something
sister.
after I couldn't make it out.
I need some water.
What the hell was that noise? Sounded like a ghost farted. Yeah.
I got a light on. It's the only light we got.
Okay. I just don't understand. The lights they're talking about are the lights that are just indicating that these machines are turned on. Like the kind of light you might see on stereo equipment that you turned on. It has a light. They're seeing lights because they put lights there. Anyway, there's a duck with a fucking like tape recorder next to it. The tape recorder's on, and there's a green light indicating that the tape recorder's on, and he keeps saying like, I can see a light, but it's just a light that he put there. Anyway, so that's just to give you an idea. Okay. And his sister's just going like, I don't know what she's saying. I would think that it'd be more fun to try and
the activity's been
they'd probably have more luck getting EVPs in broad daylight in a Kroger.
Yeah. Thanks to direct.
They just want to believe, Chris.
Well, I just am waiting. We're gonna end this. Sorry about this, Gimlins. We're gonna end this.
Ginger boys.
We're gonna end this as soon as something happens. I just want something to happen.
Oh God.
Yeah, I know. We
might be here a while.
Doesn't matter. Just put canaries in the jar while we're waiting.
Turn that green light up again. Make it go to red. See, that's what I think.
He's talking to a chair.
It could have been my glasses create like a.
Sometimes I think I see it go off too, and I don't know that I do. The other one's not
Great
going off.
story.
Mhm.
I can make out what it said.
Roll Tide.
The ghost said roll tide. Oh my god, that's what this ghost would say if there was a ghost. Unfortunately, there's
phone
nothing.
over here,
They've
so
given
if
no
we-
indication
that way I
of
don't
why
have to
their
keep
mom
looking
and dad's
back
basement would be
so
haunted.
often.
You can't just go into any room and turn out the lights and have ghosts start
Don't knock
talking.
I think
that
it's
off,
inferred
Spirit.
that they killed them.
Don't break it.
That's where I'm going with.
We might have to
I
kill
can see-
somebody
yeah.
to get some EVPs
I
going.
can see it.
My
So
vision ain't gonna work.
I don't know what he said there.
I keep
Now
hearing
that's not a
Korean.
ghost. That's like a
Yeah,
noisemaker.
well,
That's like they
you
have some
spent
kind of
time
thing
in
that
Korea,
it's. I think
South
that must be
Korea,
the
so maybe-
Necronomicon or whatever they said it was.
Yeah.
Could have had a spirit fog. You never know.
Yeah, the necrophonic.
I just keep hearing.
That's just so it's not totally boring.
you
They have
make
like
them
this
out?
thing making haunted noises.
One sounded like
That this guy thinks they're ghosts because they just because he thinks everything's a ghost.
keep up.
All right, we got one more. We got all right. I'm gonna give it 30 more seconds, and then we're gonna close this show down. Come on, man. I want him to fake something at this point.
Is
Full of
Matthew
Patterson?
your dad?
Is Matthew your dad? He said nobody.
Is Muscle your dad?
Now there's walking
That
going on
duck
upstairs,
is
so
so
we'll just ignore
fucking
anything
bored.
we hear up there. That Jinx? Okay. Your dog? Yeah. All right, Spears, can you light
That's a
something
dog.
up?
Their dog.
No, I got the word improv. Let me see if I can fix that. Yeah. That's about as dim as it can get.
Oh.
All right, well, improv.
All right. So
Things
Donald
sit a
Duck
little
said
bit
the word
better.
improv.
It was
And now he said, what did he
improved.
say now? Hammer time? What did it say?
It improved. He just didn't read it before.
Oh, he read improv wrong.
Oh,
my God.
we're starting to hemorrhage. We're starting to hemorrhage gimlets.
Okay. Well, listen, you guys, we're gonna call it because we don't want to get a reputation for a show that just shows other boring shows. So thank you all for tuning in. Sorry for the technical problems we had at the beginning. I would like to thank Greg Crofton for being here as usual and for his website, channelnonfiction.com. John Burr refuses to promote anything because he is trying to be better than other people. And Eric Wilson, thank you so much for all your patience. And thank you all very much for tuning in. And we'll see you next week, Tuesday at 6:30.
And thank you, Chris.
6:30 Pacific. Thanks, Greg.
Cold brew got me like.